Today, I'm doing the mid-year book freakout tag. Who named that tag? I'm sorry, the creators, but that is such a long name. I don't know what else you'd name it though. So never mind. I'm cold, that's why I have a blanket. In case you're wondering, now you know. The questions. Question 1 is the best book you've read so far in 2018. So, since my all-time favorite book bracket came out that my favorite book is Witchwood by Tahira Mafi, then I'm gonna have to say Witchwood by Tahira Mafi because I read that this year. The second question is the best sequel you've read so far in 2018. And Blue Lily, Lily Blue, I think is going to be my answer because that's my favorite book so far in the Raven Boys Raven Cycle series, and it was so good. The other ones I loved, but I still was kind of like, the writing, the plot isn't everything it could be, but that one was so good. Oh. The third question is a new release you haven't read yet but want to, and I think I'm gonna go with The Wicked Deep by Shea Earnshaw, which I will be reading for the biennial bibliothon that starts on July 14th. I'll have my TBR up on the 13th, so. And the fourth question is most anticipated release for the second half of the year, A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahira Mafi. This book just got a cover, and it's super simple and minimalistic, but it's gorgeous, and it's so, like, colorful, and it's so pretty, and I'm so excited. I know it's going to be such a good book, because, like, the first chapter was also released, and I read it, and I was, like, screaming, because it was so good. The fifth question is biggest disappointment of the year. Illuminae by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman, because I was very excited for it. Literally everyone on BookTube loves it. Everyone thinks it's amazing. Everyone's like, oh my god, Illuminae, what? It's so amazing. And I read it and I was like, it had a cool idea to the story. First of all, sci-fi is not my favorite thing. I can enjoy sci-fi if it's done right. This was not done right. It wasn't the format that really threw me off. I was just like, because the format very much intrigued me, and I had a lot of fun with the format, but the authors didn't do a very good job with how the format, like with all the different documents and stuff. And the characters annoyed me so much. The whole idea of the book was kind of like to me, so I was very disappointed because everyone loves it so much. So I think that's gonna have to be my answer. Biggest surprise for me is probably Protected by Claire Zorn. This is about a girl who is living in Australia, which is awesome. And she's dealing with the loss of her sister. And I had gotten this book for free at the Barnes & Noble Bee Fest in September, I believe, of 2017. And I had put it off until, I think, May. I put it off until April, and because I was like, I don't know, it's kind of like I had never really heard about it before, but it was amazing. It's one of my new favorite books. I gave it 5 stars. It was so good, and it's so underrated. Like, I've never heard anyone talk about it before, and the Australian setting was so much fun for me because I'd never read a book set in Australia, so it was amazing, and super surprised with how much I loved it. Seventh question is the favorite author debut or new to you? I'm definitely gonna have to go with Maggie Stiefvater for this. I read The Raven Boys in January, The Dream Thieves in May, and Blue Lily, Lily Blue in June, and I will be reading The Raven King hopefully this month, July, or in August. But she's amazing. Her characters are everything to me. Her characters feel so real to me. Her characters are Like I've said before, my friends in real life remind me each of the Raven Boys, like, squad members. And they feel so much more real to me because of that, and I have so much fun reading those books because I read them and I'm like, oh, that's Marcus. I love those books, and I want to read all of Maggie Stiefvater's books because she's such an amazing author, and I need to know more about her as a person, so I'll definitely be doing that soon, be like stalking her on Instagram. Number 8 is newest fictional crush. Do I have one? Ronan, Adam, I think. Gansey, Blue, Noah, all of them? Can I say that? Like, everyone from the Raven Boys is my new crush because, like, I love them, like, all of them, and I would date any of them. I would not date all of my best friends, but I would date all of those characters. And the 9th question is newest favorite character. Ronan. Who else? Oh, Alice, Alexis Queensmeadow, and Layla Fenyoun. Actually, yes, those two, Alice, Alexis Queen. Everyone from Furthermore and Witchwood are amazing, but especially I think Laylee, and like she's such a queen. And oh my god. Number 10 is a book that made you cry. I cry in most books. Honest, like even if it's just a little bit, I'm like, but I'm gonna have to say A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness because this book literally hurts me kind of like inside because it's so good but so heartbreaking. It's about this boy who is coming to terms with something that is happening in his family, which if you go on into it knowing less about what's happening, it's more sad and I think a better experience. But then a monster comes to his window / house every night, and he learns lessons about himself and about life with this monster, and it's like heart-wrenching. Like I literally like sobbed. I sobbed. Like there's a difference. Like I cry about every book, so it's just like a tear, or I can just feel there's like my eyes are watering. But this book, I just sobbed, and it's so worthy of my crying because it was so good and so sad, and I was like, ugh. And like I still think about it a lot, even though I read it in March, and I want to read it again, but I also don't want to put myself through that pain again. So read it. It's so good. 11 is a book that made you happy. And although this is kind of a sad book, I really want to go with my latest read, and that is We're Okay by Nina LaCour. This book made me happy because of the representation of girls finding their sexuality, girls liking girls, but also just like the friendship in it, and like it made me so happy to finally have a contemporary, like where a girl was also attracted to other girls that I enjoyed, and like Marin in this doesn't put other girls down, which I've noticed in a lot of other YA contemporary where the main character is a female who also likes females no matter what they identify as, and I hate it. Like finally this really like captured what I wanted from a queer book. Question 12 is favorite book to film adaptation you saw this year, and I think the only one I've seen is Love, Simon, which I really loved, so I'm gonna have to go with that. I really love Nick Robinson, so I think he did such a good job as Simon, and I really loved that movie. Question 13 is favorite video you've made this year, and let's see. I really liked the video with the backwards title challenge with Marcus. I'm pretty proud of my Avengers Infinity War book tag. My original tag. Probably I think my playlist book tag was my favorite that I've made, because playlist book tags are so much fun and like freeing, although they're incredibly embarrassing to edit. 14 is most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received. And I think The Wicked Deep. Like, I could lie and say something else just so I wouldn't be repeating an answer, but I honestly think The Wicked Deep. Like, I got this book when I was with Marcus, and then we got in the car, and I took off the dust jacket, and I looked inside, and I was, like, about to cry. Like, you know, I was in a emotional mood, but I was so happy with the way the inside looked. I don't have it with me right now, but the naked cover has, like, stars and the moon and, like, engraved into it with, like, silver, and it's so pretty, and it's so my aesthetic, like, because if you may know that I moved my new room, which I'm in right now. It's not really decorated how I want it yet, but it's going to be like astrology, night sky themed. I love the whole like stars astrology thing. So I was like dying, and I love it so much. The last question, question 15, is what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And I'm going to say that I need to read all 3 of the Chaos Walking books by Patrick Ness. The first one being The Knife of Never Letting Go, and the other ones have different names that I can't remember. Because you may know, maybe you don't, Tom Holland is going to be in the film adaptation of these movies. I don't know if there's going to be more than one, or if they just mashed it into one movie, or just did the first. I really don't know. But in 2019, but I'm not sure when, and I keep putting it off because I'm like, I don't want to read it too much before the movie comes out. And I feel like I'm gonna be in there like the week before the movie comes out. I'm just gonna be like marathoning all of them because I didn't end up reading them. So I'm going to say this now so that I read them by the end of the year. And yeah, that is my mid-year book freakout tag. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Bye!